Well, it's finally time. It's finally time to remake my rant on daylight savings time. Now, I was kind of switching back and forth between doing a pros and cons video and doing a rant, but I decided to just do a rant because I don't feel like I have enough good stuff to discuss to do an actual pro and con video, so I'm just gonna consider this a rant. But I'll probably talk about the good stuff too. In fact, I'll probably do it in the beginning. So yeah. Now, it's the second Sunday of March, and that's when daylight savings time is, right? I actually almost forgot about daylight savings time yesterday, and then when I was watching Dale's live stream, he reminded us about it, and then I was just like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. So thanks to him, he's the reason I remember. So yeah, one thing I do like about daylight savings time is since the days get longer, the sun will begin to come out earlier and earlier. So if you don't have the clocks set forward, it could be coming out as early as 6 o'clock, and that could wake you right up. So that's one good thing about it. It prevents the sun from coming in at a freaking early time. So yes, that is the one good thing I do like about daylight savings time. But other than that, I think it just does more harm than good. It messes with your body. It doesn't actually save energy. It causes heart attacks. It probably causes more accidents if you have to get up early. And yeah, it just causes all those issues. And my dad's the same way. He likes it when it gets dark earlier, because when he comes home from work, he's really tired, so he wants to sleep. Go to sleep early, but it's hard to during the summer with daylight savings time, because not only are the days longer, but we also have daylight savings time pushing the sunrise / sunset schedule an hour forward. So, and it makes it hard for him, I believe, because the sunlight kind of coming in, and he also said that he feels guilty when it's still light outside. So yeah. People say that it saves energy, but it doesn't do that. First of all, the changing the time doesn't actually make the days longer. It just, sure, it seems like it, because it causes the sunset to, set an hour later because you change the time. But that's because you're changing the time. That's not the actual it doesn't magically make the days longer. It's summer that makes the days longer. As we get closer to summer, the days will begin to get longer. And then in June or July, the days will be really long, That's not because of daylight savings time. That's because of how the earth you know, resolution or whatever it's called, you know. That's the reason why the days are longer, not daylight savings time. Again, yes, it makes the sun set an hour later, but it also makes the sun rise an hour later. You're basically taking a blanket, right? You're cutting off a bit of a blanket and gluing it to the bottom. It doesn't make the blanket bigger or longer. You're just basically moving. That's what you're doing. You're moving something. You're moving the piece of the blanket down. You're moving an hour of sunlight to the evening. That's what you're doing. You're not making any blanket bigger. You're not making any day longer. You're just moving some of it over, you know, if you know what I'm trying to say. Plus, it's just a pain. It's a pain in the ass to keep setting all your clocks and whatnot. Now, luckily, you know, we live in a day and age, you know, thanks to technology's day and age, some of like the clocks will set themselves. Like, I think my phone, I believe, set itself. My computer set itself. And then I think my Xbox clock set itself. And hopefully my Switch clock set itself. I haven't been on my Switch in a few days, so I don't know about that one. So yeah, luckily, most clocks do set themselves nowadays, but there are still clocks that don't. Like my clock over by my bed, our stove clock, and our microwave clock. You know, those clocks are not connected to where they set themselves. So you have to do it, and sometimes it can be a pain to figure out how to freaking, you know, how to set a clock. Like, I remember when my mom had this one car, and oh my gosh, she had a hard time figuring out having to, like, set the clock. You had to, like, get a pen or a pencil and hold the button down, and then I think you have to, like, do something else. Like, sometimes it can be a pain to figure out how to set a clock. Luckily, my alarm clock, or it's not an alarm clock, it's just a regular analog clock for my nightstand. You know, luckily, all you have to do is take off, like, the lid thing, and then, like, turn the thing, you know, to set it. But some clocks are a pain in the ass, like certain vehicle clocks, appliance clocks, and all that rigmarole. And I believe daylight savings time, like, luckily I don't have to deal with this right now because, you know, I don't have school, I don't have college, I'm unemployed, but sometimes it can suck. Like, you know, if you have school or a job or college or whatever, or you have something that you have to wake up and go to every day, it can be hard to deal with during daylight savings time because, like, you know, when you wake up and it's still dark outside, and, you know, that can Number one, that can make it, that can make it really hard for you to like wake up and be motivated, because when it's like dark outside, you want to like chill out and be relaxed, right? And then it can also cause accidents. Because it's dark and stuff. So it can probably cause accidents. Like, I remember, like, I told this story in my rant on daylight savings time last year. Like, I believe the day was March 27th, 2015. I was a junior. It was a Friday. I was supposed to go on a field trip that day. But what happened was, it was dark outside. So I couldn't see where I was going. Oh, sorry. I kind of have the hiccups right now, but hopefully it won't ruin the video. But yeah, it was dark outside. I couldn't see where I was going because, there wasn't much sunlight. So I was all excited, and I think I was running to the truck. And then I like tripped. And I sprained my ankle. So I had to stay home. I believe I stayed home Monday as well, the Monday after. So yeah, it sucked. I had to miss a field trip. All because I couldn't, there wasn't enough sunlight for me to watch where I was going. It was, there was like barely any sunlight. It was still pitch black outside. And then, like, it can also suck at night. Like, let's say your parents are, like, really strict and they make you go to bed, like, really early, or you're just really sleepy. Let's say it's, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Like, let's say you have to go to bed at around that time, or I don't know, you're just tired. But it's hard for you to go to bed because it's still daylight outside, and it kind of comes into your room and interrupts you. You see, that's why I prefer the fall back schedule. Because in a way, I don't know, I kind of have mixed feelings, because since I don't have much going on right now in my life, I don't have anywhere to like go. So I just kind of sleep whenever the hell I want, I actually do like it when the sun does come out later, but at the same time, it can cause problems for people that do have stuff to go out and do. So yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings about it. Sorry if you guys are confused by what I've been saying about it in last year's video and in this video. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I'll just say that for now. So yeah, back to what I was saying about the evening part. But yeah, that can mess with your body too. Not just the fact that, like, your body thinks it's a certain time, but it can also be hard to wake up and go to sleep, because when you wake up, it's still dark outside. If you wake up pretty early, and then if you go to sleep pretty early as well, it can still be like light outside, and that can be hard to deal with as well. So yeah, that's another bad reason to have daylight savings time. I also heard that it can cause depression and even suicide attempts. So yeah, daylight savings time is not good. And it could cause people to be late too. Like, I remember me and the We Just 96 both gave examples like these in our videos. I gave one in last year's video, and he gave a few throughout his videos. Let's say you have a mean boss, and then like he fires you or punishes you in a way, or you're in school and you have to go to detention, all because you're late. You're an hour late due to daylight savings time. Now, maybe the boss or your teachers or the principal, they may be understanding, but then again, they could not be understanding, and they could punish you for it. So that's also another bad thing about daylight savings time. Some people like daylight savings time because they kind of like it when like people who like to go outside, they like this. The one thing they do like about daylight savings time is they can be out for longer. But I'm not an outside person, I don't really spend much time outside, unless I'm at my grandma's house at the pool. So yeah, there just isn't really much outdoor activities I like to do, so I spend most of my time inside, unless it's like summertime and we're at my grandma's, which in that case I will spend some time swimming. But other than that, I hardly go outside just to be outside for something. So that doesn't really benefit me. I'm just not an outdoor person. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you guys are outdoorsy people, but it's just not me. So yeah, that's another good thing about daylight savings time. Well, for certain people, not for me, but for the outdoorsy people. But other than that, I think it just does more harm than good. Like, why can't daylight savings time get abolished already? Like, it's just a pain in the ass to reset your clocks. It causes confusion. It causes people to be late. It messes with their body. It causes health problems. It doesn't actually save electricity. Because like I said, for one thing, people are, you're not actually making the days longer it doesn't automatically make the days longer. And second of all, people are going to have their lights on even if it's daylight. So that excuse is freaking invalid. But I'm sorry, it is. So yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, I'll admit there are some good things about daylight savings time that I talked about. The sun comes out later, so So I have more time to sleep without the sun being, the sun coming in. And like sunlight can be motivated, it can be motivative, like it can help people stay outside later, and yeah, it just makes the day seem, like it can kind of motivate you to kind of stay up later, I guess. I don't know. But other than that, it does more harm than good. I honestly think we should just pick one of them and just stay on one of them. At this point, I really don't care. I would prefer to stay on the fallback one, probably. But if we stayed on the spring forward one, that wouldn't be as bad either, because at least the sun would come up later. So I honestly don't care which one we stay on anymore. I just want this daylight savings time BS to finally get abolished. Can't believe it's almost 5 o'clock already. This day went by fast thanks to daylight savings time. But thankfully, I don't have anything going on. If I had like school to go to or work to go to, I'd be fucking pissed. But thankfully, since I don't have much going on in my life right now, I don't really mind that today's going by fast. It's just like, come on, why do we have to deal with daylight savings time still? So yeah, guys, that's all I really have to say for this video. I'll talk to you guys later.